3 months after Aaron Kipling's transfer, we kissed. In the classroom at the turn of spring and summer, the wind blows through the classroom. My face and his face were hot and hot. Aaron Kipling, who never thought that I would pinch his chin and kiss him, was full of confusion and ignorance like an ignorant teenager. How can you not be ignorant, if it weren't for Aaron Kipling, who is usually too unsophisticated? He is like a nerd every day. I also don't seek to have fun, and play the big adventure on him, on the night of the blackout in my junior year of high school. Although the electricity in the class was out, since we were still playing Truth or Dare, most of the students had emergency desk lamps and flashlights. Therefore, the scene where I kissed Aaron Kipling's lips was also seen by them. The last 3 months of the boring and intense power outages are an opportunity to take advantage of the chaos to release stress. The sound is layered, screaming, and coaxing. That's when I let go of Aaron Kipling. Okay, everyone, calm down. Don't make a noise with the head teacher. The first student to encourage the game was the class president, Egbert James, who consciously maintained order and diverted the conversation elsewhere in a few words. Noisy night. The students who are out of control continue to the next round of the game, and the corners of my clothes were gently pulled by Aaron Kipling. Hilda Holt. His voice was hoarse, and his whole person was full of unease. Aaron Kipling's ears reddened a little. It turns out that nerds can also be shy. My voice was also low. Aaron Kipling, we're just making a game. You don't have to think about it. The noise behind it has all turned into white noise. He was stunned for a moment, then slowly withdrew his hand, very stupefied. After a night of madness, sure enough, our class ushered in the judgment of the head teacher. Wait a minute, I'm going to send out a roll today. The next day at noon, Egbert James came with a large pile of papers. I cried to death. I knew that the head teacher was secretly squatting in the corridor. How could I be a dumb person last night? Hannah James whispered to her brother, as she passed the papers to me and Aaron Kipling. The two of them sat in the first row. The two of us sat in the second row. She piled all the test papers together and handed them over, and I couldn't tell which one to start with, so I was in a hurry. Hilda Holt, hurry up. Our dormitory is still in a hurry to grab food from the cafeteria. Okay, I hurriedly answered. The pile of test papers in his hand was suddenly taken by Aaron Kipling, and after leaving a few, he gave them directly to the classmate. Hey, why is it like this? Aaron Kipling, who is usually silent, actually spoke today. Yes, it's because of the chaos that Hilda Holt's tidying up is slow. The people in front of us don't have to divide the subject directly. We can't do the same. Right, he said 2 words. And the back table and I were silent. Hannah James hurriedly turned around. Joanne Abe, it's true that I didn't pay attention. Don't blame Hilda Holt and Aaron Kipling. Joanne Abe touched her nose. I don't blame you. I'm just in a hurry. What's wrong with my brother today? Aaron Kipling is a great guy and doesn't talk much. It's beautiful, but it's soft. A homework book copied by a group of people. Joanne Abe's group was blinded by him, and called him brother. He doesn't usually say that to people. I silently sorted out the papers. Aaron Kipling was just defending me. Right. Hilda Holt, let's go home together in the evening. Hannah James' voice floated from ahead. I opened my mouth to say yes, but noticed Aaron Kipling's red eyelids, and a growing panting in his ears. I chuckled in my heart. What's going on? I didn't get to go with Hannah James, because on the way home, I was blocked in the alley outside the school by Aaron Kipling with red eyes. Aaron Kipling. As soon as I spit out my words, Aaron Kipling's eyes became even wetter, equally damp. With his breath, the boy suddenly approached, his head resting on my shoulder. Very aggrieved, Hilda Holt. I was impregnated by you. Around his neck is his soft hair. On his wrist was his warm fallan. I was shocked. Although we chose liberal arts in the college entrance examination, it is true, but he's ignorant enough to know even the basics of biology. I want to say that kissing the mouth will not get pregnant, and men will not get pregnant, but Aaron Kipling took my hand, and touched his thin abs. There is movement and movement. You touch. The baby is kicking us. The skin in the palm of my hand is hot. My brain was burning. Aaron Kipling, don't twist your waist. Aaron Kipling pursed his lips. I'm not twisting. It's the baby moving. My hands are unconsciously strained. Scratched him and stiffened. Baby. Light. 18 years old. Morning sickness. Teenager. I wouldn't associate these words until I came to Kipling's house. I thought that the beating of my fingertips was either that he was sick, or that we were all sick. For example, some kind of tumor, some kind of group paranoia, etc. But when he held on to the sink and had morning sickness, he told me that their delicate man would give birth to her baby if he was kissed by a woman who was in love. I was weirdly speechless. Hilda Holt, I didn't lie to you. Aaron Kipling's face turned pale and pitiful. What's worse is that he has small tentacles behind his waist. I was silent for a long time. Slowly, I stretched out my right hand, and followed the back of my dad like he patted my mom on the back. Asked an abrupt but important question. So, you're Squidward, and my kid, not human. He shook his head, his eyes moist and steamy. He had just washed his face. Babies are human, and neither am I. It's not. He seemed speechless, and chose to bury his head in my shoulder. A faint scent of laundry detergent, a warm, slightly trembling body. The whole person bent down and bowed his head, and wrapped me into his arms. Hilda Holt, it's so uncomfortable here. The neck is rubbed against the hairy head. The calf is entangled in the tentacles that grow wantonly. He grabbed my fingertips and pressed them against the bulge on my chest. The soft one seems to stand up. I can't help but think, you delicate people are really delicate. Baby, 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 baby. Is it okay to come to my house to study on the weekend? The baby needs mommy to accompany me, and I also need the baby to accompany me. The baby still ignores me. I was wrong. It was my fault that you asked me to rub my chest last time, but it was really up there. Messages pop up one by one on your phone. I clicked on it and pressed mute with a red face. The nerd has been transformed into an 18-year-old husband with morning sickness and pregnancy. During this time, I haven't adapted yet, but Aaron Kipling has adapted well. From the cautious Hilda Holt, to the polite and restrained Hilda Holt, to the sweet and greasy, baby. My head is buzzing. Hilda Holt. In this PE class, everyone sat on the playground looking at their phones, and Hannah James sat next to me. Did you notice that Aaron Kipling has been staring at you every day since the last big adventure? You're going too far. You honest. I didn't swallow a bite of the popsicle and almost choked. If only she knew. Aaron Kipling, an honest man, was already pregnant with my baby behind her back? So, who should she say went overboard? Hannah James poked me in the face. Such a big reaction. You two can't really have anything, can you? Yes, we have one child. Baby, you can't eat too much popsicles. Menstrual holidays are coming. Weshit popped up again, and this time, Hannah James and I both saw it. When I saw my own remarks, Aaron Kipling, my heart died. Don't say it, don't say it. You two are a cold-faced sister and a delicate brother. It's really good. I want to say I'm a crush sister. He's Squidward. Hannah James patted me on the shoulder excitedly. Aaron Kipling is here. Aaron Kipling is here. Joe and Abe, who had just returned from buying us snacks, looked over. Isn't it? I'm Aaron Kipling, asked for by Hilda Holt. I awkwardly took a pack of snacks. Drag Aaron Kipling and run. It's not that I'm embarrassed. I'm afraid. Aaron Kipling. What if they find out he's pregnant? I don't want the little fool to be caught researching. Baby, I'm tired. Aaron Kipling was wheezing unsteadily, and I quickly stopped and pulled him into the corner. What's wrong? Didn't hurt the baby? I found out that I was already touching it. I clenched my fingertips, turned my face away, and taught him in righteous words. You know you're pregnant now, right? So it's okay. Don't go into the crowd. What if you want morning sickness in front of them? Men on this planet don't get pregnant and don't give birth to babies. Also, you race. When will you show your pregnancy and when will you give birth? We are now 18 years old, and we are tall men and women. If you are the one outside, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I didn't look at him, and I didn't notice him biting his lip until the index finger is hooked by the delicate and slender knuckle again. I just noticed that Aaron Kipling's mouth was red. Why is the baby so cruel to me? It's my first time. Inexperienced. I haven't conceived a child for anyone else before. My throat was a little sore, and I stammered to comfort him. No, I didn't kill you. I was worried about you. His fingertips dug into my fingers, and held them firmly. Itchy. Would you like to come to my house on the weekend? Me and Xiaobao. I miss you so much. Although I know that Xiaobao will not miss me, I was still a ghost and went to Aaron Kipling's house on the weekend. There are still 3 months left in the college entrance examination, and I have to brush up on some weak questions every day. I'm brushing up on questions, and Aaron Kipling is watching an online class with headphones on. The tentacles that he let out when I was alone were helping me beat my back and massage my shoulders and neck. The tentacles are usually soft, but they are elastic and tough to handle. The massage was particularly pleasant. My frozen shoulder has been greatly relieved, and I found that the answers are all right, and I am in a good mood. I also had the idea of chatting with him. By the way, didn't your parents come to Earth with you? On both occasions, his house was empty, like an old man living alone. Aaron Kipling's tentacles paused. On our side, there can be many dads, because dads can only play the role of giving birth to babies, and moms. When I became adults, my mom left my house and my dad's house, and my dad went to give birth to new babies for other women. The red pen and ink made a mark on the title. I sighed. You guys have a marriage system over there. Wait, and how old are you? Aaron Kipling's 18 years old is just his 18 years here. So what kind of coquettish star is he on? He was stumped by the question, and frowned slightly. I don't know, because it's been too long. Too long. I made up thousands of years of life in an instant. I think I'm probably thinking a little too much. If I had been with you, you would still be the same when I was 80. No, I'll mimic, he replied obediently, and paused again. What if? Isn't the baby dating me now? I was honest. I'm still in my 3rd year of high school, and I can't be in a relationship. The corners of Aaron Kipling's eyes were pink. Well, what are you going to do with me? If I had known that kissing him would have gotten pregnant, then borrow me 800 playful hearts, and I don't dare to kiss him on the big adventure. What do you do with him? Kiss you. It's because I have a crush on you, and I want to tease you. By the way. You're too honest, Aaron Kipling. I just want to see if you have a different expression. As I finished speaking, Aaron Kipling's face turned even redder. He can't seem to stand my directness. The small tentacles covered their faces, and there was a feeling of covering their ears and stealing the bell. Aaron Kipling poked my finger with a tentacle, and his tone was incredibly obedient. After the college entrance examination, can the baby be my girlfriend? I swallowed. Of course, if we're in a city. Aaron Kipling has been working hard. Receiving my affirmative answer, he tried harder. Everyone in the class could see the change in him. After school at noon, my brother and sister James and I were having dinner at a cafe near the school, and Hannah James and her brother complained. Aaron Kipling, that kid has been getting more and more sluggish lately, and he is studying and studying after class. I didn't even eat Hilda Holt when he asked him to come out to eat, chewing a piece of bread to brush up on the question. Egbert James looked at me. Your little boyfriend is going to break down like this, right? The soda in my mouth almost squirted. Ahem, ahem. Hannah James quickly pulled out a tissue and handed it to me. Brother, how do you talk? They haven't been together yet. Egbert James bent his eyes apologetically. I thought at Hilda Holt's speed, I'd already stamped Aaron Kipling. The two of them were still talking, but they were not sure about the relationship. I couldn't have imagined how fast I could be to get Aaron Kipling pregnant with a baby. But Aaron Kipling is pregnant, and she is still preparing for the college entrance examination with such a high intensity. Is it really okay? Boss, please pack another curry chicken steak set, then add 2 more chicken cutlets to it. Hannah James was stunned. You haven't eaten enough. Her brother instantly understood. Give you the Aaron Kipling belt. I was blushing and heartbeat by these two people going back and forth. I didn't really want to give Aaron Kipling I want to give it to my baby. What can't be bitter children? Aaron Kipling nibbles on her own bread. My baby needs some meat. So, 2 months before the exam, I became the most tired one of the senior high school students in my class. Someone else's senior year of high school, diligently brushing questions, dedicated to only getting into college. My senior year of high school, diligently brushing the questions. 1 heart for the university entrance examination, 1 heart for taking care of the pregnant husband, and 1 heart for covering up the pregnancy of the pregnant husband. However, there are still people who love to interrupt at this juncture. Hilda Holt, please, come to my house on the weekend. Outside the hallway, I was pestered by Joe and Abe because his parents we're going to find him a one-on-one tutor to supervise his studies from this week. Joanne Abe usually copies her homework and doesn't listen to her lessons. He didn't want to show his stuff in front of his parents, so he wanted to ask me to pretend to give him a makeup lesson. But I have to go to Aaron Kipling's house on the weekend. I looked at Aaron Kipling in the class and refused. Can't you ask Egbert James to help you? I'm not convenient. Joanne Abe was depressed. The class leader doesn't agree. He also wants me to study. As he spoke, Aaron Kipling got up from his seat and walked out. His school uniform only pulled up to his collarbone, revealing a large patch of skin. Staring at me, like a pure man who seduces people and doesn't know it. Hilda Holt, you go help Joanne Abe. It's okay. It's okay if you don't accompany me to brush the questions. It's not good if Joanne Abe is sad. Joanne Abe observed Aaron Kipling's expression and tentatively said, Why don't you two make up for me together? I thought Aaron Kipling wouldn't agree, but he nodded. Well, can we start this afternoon? Friday afternoon is a break for grades, but our juniors usually choose to study in class. Joanne Abe was flattered. Brother, you are really my own brother. How do you know that my little brother doesn't want to make up classes on weekends? Aaron Kipling didn't speak, glanced at me. My face is hot, thinking of his morning sickness at home last week. I ran to the pharmacy to buy vitamin B6, and I felt like I was trapped in my stocks. At noon, you two swipe my card to go to the cafeteria to eat. I'll go back to the dormitory and pull a suitcase, and let's meet at the school gate. Joanne Abe beamed into the classroom. Outside, it was just me and Aaron Kipling. He led me into the corner, shielded by the wall, and held my hand in the blind spot. A soft tentacle drilled out of the palm of the alien boy's hand, peek in along the cuffs of our school uniform jacket, circling around my forearm. It's cool. It's pathetic. Aaron Kipling's tone was pitiful. Too, baby. Joanne Abe just touched your arm. To be honest, I didn't really pay attention because Joanne Abe and I weren't of the opposite sex in each other's eyes. I heard that the pregnant husband has great mood swings during pregnancy, which is not good for Xiaobao. I grabbed his little tentacles. Reassure, next time I'll stay away from him. Aaron Kipling, don't be jealous. Aaron Kipling's body shuddered. I can't just pinch my tentacles. I had another force in my hand. What's going on? The soft ones are not pinched for people. Aaron Kipling's fair face rose with a thin red. The eyelashes resemble butterfly wings wet in the rain. Flutter, flutter. You pinch me. I'll react. My eyelids jerked. Throw away the tentacle with a toss. Running to the class without looking back. At the back door, Egbert James was holding a glass of water and was almost knocked over by me. Hilda Holt. He looked up and saw Aaron Kipling following me, and nodded in understanding. Good student Aaron Kipling has been bullied by mischievous Hilda Holt again. I was ashamed and ashamed. Who's the mischievous Hilda Holt? Aaron Kipling isn't so well behaved either. You can pinch a tentacle and you can do that. Joanne Abe's house is bigger than Aaron Kipling's house. The first time I came, I greeted Joanne Abe's parents, and they were so happy, pouring milk and cutting fruit, and let us go upstairs to study. Joanne Abe held his high school must have questions, and spent the afternoon scrolling on the first page. I couldn't stand it, and reminded, you can write as much as you want. What if your uncle and aunt check it? Only then was he willing to stop his phone and start writing. Aaron Kipling raised his eyes from the sea of questions and slid his gaze past Joanne Abe. Don't copy it. Write it yourself. I'll teach you if you can't. Joanne Abe was impressed. Aaron Kipling, you speak so safely. And there is spring at the end of the crane. He didn't know that on the surface. Aaron Kipling, who was serious about brushing the questions, was a little teacher. Behind my back, the tentacles are massaging my sore calves in gym class. I'll go write it to you. No, Aaron Kipling, and I said in unison. Joanne Abe froze. Ooh, twice. I quickly kicked Aaron Kipling's tentacle, and motioned for him to take it back. Aaron Kipling coughed lightly and got up, and walked over to Joanne Abe. Somewhere, tell me. Well, I don't know where this answer came about. Two people like this, you and I will say a word. Even though Joanne Abe had to explain it many times, there was not a trace of impatience on Aaron Kipling's face. With his delicate and beautiful face, it's like an angel giving Joanne Abe a lecture. If Xiaobao grows up, it will be this kind of scene. Be aware of what you're thinking. I chewed the apple with crooked teeth and bit my mouth, inhaling slightly. Aaron Kipling instantly looked up. Hilda Holt, what's wrong with you? I covered my mouth and muttered, it's nothing. You can counsel Joanne Abe. Aaron Kipling's face wrinkled, and I said, I'm fine. And his face began to turn white and unsightly. I suddenly reacted, put down my pen, dragged Aaron Kipling and ran to the bathroom. Hilda Holt, click, locked the door, and turned the shower on to the maximum. The heavy sound of water drowned out Aaron Kipling's low panting. The young man's lean finger bones pinched the basin, and his eyebrows were terribly wet. Aaron Kipling, how are you? Do you want to throw up? Aaron Kipling gasped quietly, her lip bitten bloodless. I was terrified. Go and hug him. Aaron Kipling, relax. Aaron Kipling's hand was cold, pressed against my back, and his voice was hoarse. I didn't mean to throw up. It was Xiaobao who kicked me, and it hurt so much. I can't imagine it. After all, I wasn't pregnant. I could only go and rub his belly gently. Xiaobao, don't kick your father. He is pregnant with you, while preparing for the college entrance examination. It's very hard. Unexpectedly, the little one in the belly stopped moving. Can you hear it? Aaron Kipling shook his head. Baby, I don't know either. Joanne Abe started knocking on the door. Hey, what's going on with you, too? I turned off the water and opened the door. When he saw us soaking wet, he turned and looked down. Aaron Kipling asked, Joanne Abe, do you have any bath towels? Joanne Abe covered her eyes and took the bath towel, which she threw to Aaron Kipling. The furry blanket covered my body, and Aaron Kipling said softly, you can open your eyes, Joanne Abe. Joanne Abe was like a stuffy turtle, without saying a word, and continued to brush up on the questions with Aaron Kipling. After a while, he quietly passed me a note. You kissed. Aaron Kipling's mouth swollen. I wrote indignantly. It was his own bite. He passed it from under the table again. Is my bathroom still clean? I replied with 6 full stops. The object of the liking is too well behaved, so much so that everybody thinks I'm bad. In mid-April, the college entrance examination, physical examination, which I was most worried about, began. On Monday, the head teacher asked us to gather at the physical examination center at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Between classes, Hannah James turned around and chatted with us. I heard that the class next door had a physical examination last Friday, and it was found that she was pregnant. I chuckled and looked at Aaron Kipling, who didn't react. Joanne Abe followed by scolding. What a brute, getting people pregnant before the college entrance examination. I swallowed. I feel like I've been scolded. Hannah James, that boy I know. Pure and rotten people. The relationship between men and women is messy. Alas, the girl was taken home by her parents that day. Joanne Abe frowned. Is the man okay? Hannah James sighed. Of course, people are now spreading rumors that girls are messing around, saying that the child is not his. She paused. Her parents have already taken her to have an abortion. Joanne Abe and I were both annoyed when we heard it. Aaron Kipling said coldly, and asked very childishly, if I find out that I am pregnant, do I have to kill the baby? We're high school students. Can we still give birth if we don't beat them? Hannah James was ready to continue talking. Her brother knocked on the table and interrupted. All right, you guys should study. She sat back honestly, but my heart could not be calmed. Aaron Kipling, do I want to get rid of the baby too? The phone screen is lit up. I swiped the lock screen in the hole in the table, and replied, what should I do about the physical examination? Pregnancy is not the main thing, but you are a man and will be treated like a monster. The other party is typing. Entered for a long time. Aaron Kipling, so the baby won't let me beat Xiaobao. The tips of my ears are hot. Hilda Holt, that's my baby. Why don't I? Aaron Kipling, that's good. Thank you baby for asking us. Hilda Holt. The problem now is not this. The problem is the medical examination that will come tomorrow. Aaron Kipling put away his phone and turned to look at me, his voice low. There's a radio wave. There are radio waves. My fingertips tingled slightly. Under his gaze, he buried his face in the pile of books. Aaron Kipling doesn't learn well. It actually electrocuted my hand. It feels weird and a little comfortable. I think I'm the one who needs a medical checkup the most. Aaron Kipling's college entrance examination was as he said. Time passed day by day, and there was less than a month left in the blink of an eye. And this is the 2nd month of Aaron Kipling's pregnancy. His morning sickness has subsided a little bit since it started. But he is not human. He can't predict the due date, and I am afraid every day that he will give birth in the classroom. In the exam room, Aaron Kipling was the only one in the house. I was made by my parents with all kinds of soups, and I was thinking about my baby, but I can't tell them that I made a man's belly bigger outside. Right, the college entrance examination is approaching, and I don't have a good time going out on weekends, so the usual time at school, except for revision, was given to Aaron Kipling. Baby, I'm starting to get, again, in the woods. Aaron Kipling's head rubbed against me, unusually uncomfortable. I know that pregnancy will enlarge the milk, but when I saw that the man was pregnant and breastfeeding, my head was also rising. Aaron Kipling's pectoral muscles tucked under the short-sleeved t-shirt are bulging. It turns out that Aaron Kipling not only has pectoral muscles, but also a thin layer of abs. It's my favorite thin-skinned man. Baby, you can't study at school at night. You haven't been here with me for a long time. Baby, Aaron Kipling took a bite of a baby, and my voice changed. Well, I'll be with you for a while. Evening self-study at the school is only mandatory for boarding students. Day students are voluntary. I carried my school bag, and went home with Aaron Kipling to study on my own. As soon as I opened the door, he suddenly bent down and took me into his arms. Baby, warm breath swept across the neck. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I pushed him directly. Don't shout. Aaron Kipling's body trembled slightly. It hurts. The baby touched there. The fingertips felt soft to the touch, and I didn't dare to move anymore, and said stiffly, does it still hurt? Aaron Kipling. Aaron Kipling's pain didn't seem to be fake, and the corners of his eyes sparkled with water. It hurts. It's good. I panicked, so I hurriedly helped him to sit on the sofa, and used my mobile phone to search for how to relieve pregnancy in breast milk. The words on the browser, line by line, make people warm up. You can use a hot towel to massage around the breast and gently rub the induration, or you can use a breast pump to remove excess milk. Suck it out, but pay attention to gentle movements. Breast pump. Milk. Does Aaron Kipling have milk? I clicked on the shopping app, used Aaron Kipling's intimate payment to tie me, and quickly bought a breast pump. I have no experience and intend to try it by following the answers on the browser. Aaron Kipling, you lift your clothes, wringing out the hot towel. I opened my mouth crampedly. Aaron Kipling is very well behaved. Lift the t-shirt, roll it up to your lips and bite it. My palms were hot, and I carefully pressed a towel against his chest. Left, left, right, and massage in circular motions. If it hurts, tell me. Aaron Kipling's eyes were reddish, and his vision was glazed. How dare I exert myself? The force could not be lighter. When I pulled out, my pectoral muscles didn't seem to bulge so much. Aaron Kipling's mouth was wet. Baby, he can only call the baby. Can't say anything else? The temperature of the towel had cooled, and I pinched the towel and walked with a messy walk. I'll put some hot water in it, Aaron Kipling muttered. No need. It doesn't hurt. It's time for us to learn. Baby, learn. The brain is full of 2 light pink grains. Learn. I took the water and washed my face. Honestly, pull out the fuss and do it wildly. Start doing it wildly. Aaron Kipling wrote the question and said softly, which university is the baby going to go to? Which school to get into? He nodded. Oh, there was a faint anger in my heart inexplicably. I don't know if I couldn't continue to rub his chest, or because he didn't stretch out his little tentacles. It always felt like Aaron Kipling wanted to get away with it. I bore my head and continued to make a fuss. A few days before the college entrance examination, the examination room came out. My brother and sister and I were assigned to the No. 1 middle school examination room, which was our own school. Aaron Kipling and his younger brother, Joe and Abe, take the exam in secondary 2. After receiving the admission ticket, we went home for the exam during the holidays. I messaged Aaron Kipling on WeChat. These days, take a hot towel and rub it yourself. Don't have chest pain during the exam. It took half a day to come back. Aaron Kipling, yes, baby. Let's not contact each other for the next few days. Let's talk about it after the exam. When I saw the message, I was a little annoyed. But when I think of her being pregnant with my baby, I have to work hard to take the college entrance examination. The shallow annoyance was gone. Hilda Holt, then remembered to take some vitamin B6. Don't scare the invigilator with morning sickness during the exam. Aaron Kipling, baby, go learn. I didn't send it anymore, so I turned off the phone and studied until the day of the college entrance examination. A 4-day exam. It ended on a high note in the last afternoon. When I left the exam room, Jame's siblings were already waiting for me at the door. They didn't ask me how I did on the exam. I didn't ask them how they were doing. Hannah James naturally got on the topic. It's finally over. Tonight, day of indulgence and venting. Let's get back and prepare. I was confused. What indulgence day? Egbert James raised an eyebrow. I sent it to you. The summer party after the college entrance examination. I pulled out my phone from my file bag and turned it on. It kept spinning in circles. And 2 minutes later, countless red dots popped up. Hannah James, Egbert James, you invited us to the class. He smiled. Don't worry, Hilda Holt. I also invited the good student, but I don't know if it will come. Aaron Kipling's gray chat box. There are no red dots. I typed out the words with my fingertips and deleted them. He shouldn't like the KTV environment. Aaron Kipling finally finished the college entrance examination while pregnant, and it was not suitable for a party or something. Egbert James booked a large private room. We came late. Joanne Ubb's group had already arrived, and had already ordered a fruit plate snack. He looked at me. Hey, Aaron Kipling didn't come. Hannah James pulled me to sit down. Hilda Holt doesn't know. Isn't he with you in the second high school exam room? Joanne Abe stopped talking. That's right, but the second middle school is so big. I didn't see him. On Weshit, Aaron Kipling hasn't even looked for me. I held my phone and stood up. Hannah James, I'll make a call and I'll be back soon. In the summer, the KTV hall is full of air conditioning. It may be that he has just finished the college entrance examination, and there are many young faces. I walked straight outside, a dry natural breeze blowing, and a fine sweat broke out on my forehead. Aaron Kipling didn't answer the phone. After a few beeps, I hung up the phone. Hilda Holt, what are you doing here? Ahead of my vision, Egbert James stood on the side of the road and asked me in surprise. He carried 2 beautifully wrapped bouquets in his arms. I opened my eyes slightly. Have you been confessed? He stepped forward, and the handful of pink lychees fell into my arms. A dazzling pale pink rose, pink like Aaron Kipling's chest. I kind of want to confess to you. Okay, the streets are noisy. My eyes widened. Didn't you say I had a boyfriend? Egbert James bowed his head. Aaron Kipling, that kid. I'm just playing with him. You haven't had enough of it. Hilda Holt, didn't those boyfriends of yours used to be electronic pets? Yes, before. I had never been in a relationship normally. I'm a strange person. I'm only interested for 3 minutes, and then there's no more. But for Aaron Kipling, that's not the case. You don't have to rush to refuse me. Think about it slowly. I am far more patient than them, and it will not restrict your right to find a small pet. Aaron Kipling is not a small pet. I chased after it and wanted to say that Aaron Kipling wasn't an electronic pet, but I saw Aaron Kipling in front of me, under the neon lights. His face was bloodless. Aliens have keen ears and don't know how much to hear. I gave the plug to Egbert James, and pulled Aaron Kipling's hand hard. He held it with his backhand. Take me in the opposite direction. Fast and fast. Aaron Kipling has never had a time like this. In the dim alley, he clasped my fingertips and asked, is the baby with me just because I am pregnant with your child? I explained. No, I said I had a crush on you. Hot and moist tears drip onto the clavicle fossa. But he said you play with me. You just like to play with tentacles. Not Aaron Kipling. Do you? I raised my hand to gag his mouth. The pregnant man can't cry. It's not good for the baby. He cried even more pitifully. You only care about the child in my belly. I knew that I was wrong, so I grabbed him by the collar and tiptoed to kiss his lip. Aaron Kipling, the kid, looked very weak. As soon as I kissed him, he bit it. The tentacles scrambled to be the first to circle me, as the owner's mood fluctuated. I was confused by his kiss. The legs were so weak that they were completely supported by tentacles, like aquatic plants. Wrap me up tight. Aaron Kipling took my lips in his mouth, kissed me again, and exhaled hot flashes. The college entrance examination is over. You promised to be my girlfriend, baby. I took the breast pump apart and was at home. Would you like to help me now? I seriously doubt that aliens can read minds. Also, starting today, You can do to me what you humans love to do, because I'm the only one who is pregnant. Don't worry, baby. I couldn't bear it anymore, and gagged his mouth with my tentacles. You're pregnant. Am I that mad? Aaron Kipling smiled. Yes, I knew that babies are the best babies in the world. My alien tentacle monster boyfriend gave birth on the day he got the admission letter from S University with me. He couldn't go to the hospital, and he couldn't go to the doctor. It was born by lying on the bed by yourself. As soon as the baby was born, it was the image of a light blue, translucent gelatinous little octopus. I hugged the octopus in my arms, and couldn't help it. You still say that you are not Squidward. You can see for yourself, the baby you gave birth to. Aaron Kipling bit his lip. We're really not octopus. He took a shower and put the baby to sleep, looking at the two tentacle monsters, one big and one small. My heart softened into a cake. How can there be such a cute baby in the world? It's a pity that you can only wait until you graduate from college to bring your baby home to meet your parents. Otherwise, the 18-year-old girl will inexplicably have an extra octopus ball, and my parents will be scared to death if they don't kill me. At what age will your baby be like you? Aaron Kipling mused. 3 years old. In those 3 years, you have to go to college again, and you have to milk octopus. It's really hard for you. Aaron Kipling's face flushed, and he covered his face with his tentacles. Do you like it? If you like it, I can have another baby without contraception. My smile froze instantly. What? So you kid can use contraception? Ideally, if you really kiss the person you like, you can get pregnant. Then I don't have to count. I know that he has been living all his life, and his pregnancy has not stopped. The little tentacles reached out and pinched me as if flattering. When you kissed me, it was the first time, and I didn't know how to use contraception at all. I didn't know you liked me then, so I didn't think I would get pregnant. I'm inexperienced. It's the first time to rub my chest. It's the first time to suck milk. And you, I gagged his mouth with his tentacles again. The harmless boyfriend of humans and animals, who looks innocent, is actually very easy to be open-mouthed because he doesn't understand anything. So any reaction will tell me bluntly. I was jealous and said, you can't talk to people like that out there. It's called seduction. You know. The ignorant novice father and top husband immediately came to me and asked. Then I seduced the baby. Is it considered a seduction? His neckline was slightly open. Moisture-soaked shirts. It's so thorough. Good powder. I pretended to be calm. No. It's your duty as my boyfriend. The tentacles dig into their fingers. Aaron Kipling's eyelashes flutter. Baby, you haven't exercised usurphy to your boyfriend today. This is the 3rd year of high school, and I endured morning sickness and torture. My husband who gave birth to a baby octopus. I couldn't calm down. Xiaobao. Xiaobao won't hear it. Right. Aaron Kipling snorted. There's a barrier. Baby, high school graduate, college is just getting started. And my heart was settled by Aaron Kipling. I posted a circle of friends. The content of that circle of friends is, Aaron Kipling, you don't have to run with the ball in this life, because your boss is here. Everyone commented quickly. Joanne Abe, I'll just say, I'm Aaron Kipling was asked by Hilda Holt. Hannah James, I'm going. Aaron Kipling is really a brother-in-law. Heh. Aaron Kipling is confused. Baby, what are you doing? I turned off my phone, and threw it on the edge of the bed. Reveal a certain Squidward. The end.